Good morning, it's Barbara. Thank you for joining me for coffee. Ooh, I gotta change hands. This is my second cup, I will confess, and it's barely morning because it's late today. Thank you for joining me for my 1000th vlog. Isn't that crazy? I mean, I have no idea how to even think about that. When Dennis suggested it, I thought he was crazy. He hasn't suggested I'd go to 5 digits. 10,000 days, what's that? 30 years? Yeah, kind of crazy. You know, thinking about it, and I don't know. I haven't really processed it and don't know exactly how to react to that. I love talking to you, obviously, or I wouldn't have done it this long. I really appreciate the community we have, and thank you so much to everyone who has watched and reached out and commented and joined our Zooms, and all those things are so amazing to me, to build such a wonderful community on the internet. It's just, you know, and people who aren't on the internet just don't understand that it's a real community. And I really do have friends around the world, some of whom I have never met yet. I am hoping that traveling can become a thing again for us eventually and actually meet some of you. It would be wonderful. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me, and here we are. 1000. I didn't really do anything special. Sorry. Well, you know, I was talking about, you know, what am I gonna, you know, what are the big things that happened in the last 3 years? Because it's almost 3 years. March 20th, I think, was my first vlog, and some really big things have happened in that time. Not all of them good. Yeah. But you were there. You were there with me. Thank you for that. So, anyway, I am very late today. I don't feel fabulous because I did not get very much sleep. We had a bit of a kerfuffle here in the middle of the night. Yesterday was Sunday, and at some point, apparently, the cat escaped from the second floor out the dog door. And the cat was not in the house, which we were made aware of by Aura not being able to find her cat at about 12:30 this morning. Now, she hadn't seen the cat in a long time. She sat up there all afternoon watching football, and no cat came on her lap, and, you know, but she just didn't think about it, I guess, and she didn't say anything. And then she went back up and still no cat on her lap, which is very unusual. And so she finally called Dennis, and he went up and couldn't find the cat. I went up, I couldn't find the cat. I thought maybe the cat was in this room because, you know, he has the run. He really does have the run of the house, except we have the dogs. Now, we keep a wooden gate at the bottom of the steps so that the dogs don't come upstairs and just vulture at because we have a gate, a very nice gate, sturdy gate that blocks off Aura's little suite from our bedroom and this room. The idea being that we don't want the dogs in the hallway around her, so she can go back and forth to all the rooms, all her rooms in her little suite, without worrying about the dogs, because the dogs could knock her over no problem. And that's why we have the gate upstairs. But we also put a temporary gate at the bottom of the stairs so the dogs don't go upstairs and just sit at that gate vulturing. you know, we don't want the cat to always feel threatened. Well, until today. So anyway, he can get out and he can come down. In fact, one time we know that he did try to come down the steps and the dog saw him and he ran back upstairs. So we're speculating that he came down and found the dog door when the dogs were out of the house on their walk. The problem is that dog door leads to the backyard, which is the dog's domain. And, you know, and I find it really amazing that he even found it, because that cat came in a cat carrier upstairs into the room, and he, you know, he's never been like shown around down in the main floor. So he was exploring and he figured out how to get out the dog door, apparently. So anyway, so we spent half an hour searching these rooms for the cat, trying to figure out where he could possibly be. But if he's been crying, he's not super happy here. And so we figured if he were stuck somewhere or caught or something, he would be crying. So we weren't worried that he was injured upstairs somewhere. But anyway, so the dogs were overly agitated last night in their patrol of the backyard, and they get that way sometimes, like if they're raccoons, or, you know, Dennis could smell the tiniest hint of skunk, you know, deer back there. So they often go out and bark at night right before they come to bed, but they were very agitated last night in a way that's not typical. And so Dennis brought them in and closed the dog door so that they wouldn't be out there barking their fool heads off. We do have neighbors. But Maze was like vulturing me. She's banging on the door. She wanted to go back outside. So obviously the dogs were very aware that the cat was in the backyard, and we didn't realize. So Dennis saw him under the deck, and so I took the dogs up in the bedroom and locked them in the bedroom so that Dennis, if and when he got a hold of the cat, he could get him through the house without dog. And finally, you know, Dennis came back convinced the cat was under there, but hadn't gotten him. I said, well, he was looking for cat treats, which we didn't have any. I said, just take his water and his food. He's probably hungry and thirsty. He might just come for that. And that's what happened. He put it down and the cat came out immediately. Of course, the cat knows Dennis. So we're guessing he was out there for 10 hours at least and couldn't do anything about it because the dog door is always open until the dogs start making a ruckus late at night and disturb the neighbors. But otherwise, the dog door is open. So there was a little ruckus in the house, and Dennis thinks that maybe the cat had come to the door and cried because the door was closed to keep the dogs in, and Pearl heard it. Anyway, the cat is home safe and was never in any danger. He was under the deck, although I don't think he knows those dogs go under the deck too. Maisie loves it under the deck. So he wasn't as entirely safe as he thought he was. Although we're speculating for a while because of where Maisie was barking that he might have been under the shed for a while. And if he's under the shed, he's safe because the dogs can't get under the shed. Anyway, needless to say, we were all wound up. This all resolved itself about 1:30 in the morning. Or went in her sitting room and closed the door, and she eventually went to bed in her bedroom, but she locked the cat in the sitting room. So the cat is going to be confined to the sitting room for quite some time, I suspect, till, you know, although in fact we are probably going to be rehoming the cat. Kim's stepson is looking for a cat and doesn't want a kitten and wants a cat. And Tiger's a lovely cat. And he might be happier with Nick. That's what we're thinking, because he's not that happy here if you go by his yelling, you know. When Orr's not there, he cries pretty regularly. So maybe he'll do better with Nick. Now, Nick works, but I suspect he'll get more attention from Nick living, you know, intertwined with Nick in his life, and we will hope for that. So I'm not sure when that will happen, but I need to tell Kim about last night, and so maybe, because she's arranging that move, and I think everybody will be happier, including the cat. But he's got the dogs vulturing him now, so he won't be running outside anymore. Anyway, so that was the big event last night, and then I couldn't, I didn't get to sleep till after 4:30. I was just, all wound up, and then I didn't sleep well. So my second cup of coffee is very, very much appreciated. Dennis brought me coffee in bed. He's the best. He didn't sleep great either, but he brought me coffee. So anyway, that was the big event yesterday, well, in the middle of the night, this morning. I did craft with Christy yesterday, and I did my Dragons of Sumatra. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. Isn't that nice? I'm very excited. I'm very excited. However, I haven't done it in a long time, and I could not get the zipper to open on my pouch here, to the point where I ended up breaking the zipper, and then I just took a pair of scissors. So now my pouch doesn't close. So I'll need to get a clothespin or find a new one. Or buy stitching. So here is where I am. I did some of the outline here, and I did this part right here. And I got off by one stitch, and so I had to fudge it a little bit, but I don't think you can tell. I dare you to tell. Anyway, so I have underneath that little band is going to go another dragon. And where is it? Okay, so this is that band right here. So there's another dragon underneath it, and then I have to finish the edging around here. And this all, I think, yeah. So this is the page that I'm doing, and this is page 1. So it will finish the upper corner. It'll finish the upper corner of the piece. And I'll be ready to start some more. So it's a really, really, so I've done, there are 3 pages across. I'm in the middle of page 1. I've done page 2 and page 5. So I will be, so there are 9 pages. So I will be 1/3 of the way done when I finish this page, because I will have done 3 pages out of 9. So there's my Dragons of Sumatra. That was the crafting that I did yesterday with Christy. And talking, we hadn't talked in a couple weeks. Last Sunday was Rich's birthday, and so we didn't talk. He did get my card, my IOU. I didn't show you, but I made him an IOU. I owe him oatmeal whoopie pies. But the store that they usually, that Dutch Haven that Christy and I went through, was it last July? And we took you on a tour, and she bought her whoopie pies, and we took you a little bit around Lancaster County. That store is now closed. It's for sale. That store, and there's a restaurant next door, and all the recipes are for sale. If you wanted to make shoe fly pie, world famous shoe fly pie and whoopie pies in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, I don't know, Rich looked it up. It's like $2.5 million or something for the buildings. That one's a restaurant and the recipes. So if you are inclined. But meanwhile, so our source of whoopie pies, I have to go find a new source of whoopie pies to send to Rich for his birthday. They don't do whoopie pies in Mississippi. Apparently Maine claims whoopie pies, but apparently there's some competition about that. Okay, so I thought I would start my whip parade today to commemorate 1,000 vlogs. That rack is holding most of my whips, but not all of my whips. So let me go grab a few bags and see what we can find. Some of these I can guess what's in them. Some of them I don't know. We shall see. I don't really know what's in this. This is probably socks, but I'm not sure. Oh, it's pretty heavy. And I guess I'll take the green one. So these are the 3 I'm going to do today. There's a couple on the floor. And I actually have a couple downstairs too that are more proximate to my knitting chair, but that doesn't make them more proximate to me knitting them. So we shall see. All right. I do not know where I got this bag. Oh, Toad Hollow. Oh, I'm the worst. This is a charity hat that I'm almost finished with, that I never finished. Okay, so this is just a ribbed hat. I think this is probably Knit Picks Bravo yarn, is my guess. Oh, it's an actual pattern, 2x2 by Ann G. And I cast on with a long tail cast on, but I used 2 different colors. So it's got a little something something on the edge. It's designed to be turned up. I should just finish this and figure out who to donate it to. See, the problem is I don't have any particular place in mind. I was just doing a hat. So, but I can, I mean, I must be very close to doing the decreases. So I'm almost finished with, I will finish this and find someone to donate that to. US 6. It's on a 6. On a little 6. Licka needle. So that would be nice to have. And yeah, I have a little bit more of that. Oh, finding all kinds of stuff. Here's 3.5 millimeter crochet hook in here, which explains why I couldn't find my crochet hook. I had to buy another one. Yeah, this is Brava. So, okay, well, I will finish that and figure out where to donate that. So that's good. So I'm glad I opened that. And it's probably a half an hour knitting to be done. Then I have to weave in the ends. So this is a Loony Bag. Isn't that cute? It's a Loony Christmas bag. I don't know if she's still sewing bags and selling them or not. I don't know. This is Christmas yarn. Very pretty Christmas yarn. And I think this, yeah, this pattern was a gift. And so I started knitting it for socks, and look how far I am. But I did not, this, and it's crazy because it has one horrible stitch. These are the Candy Cane socks by Ellie Jones. Ellie Jones's Craft House Magic podcast, and it's candy canes. And see that stitch going down? That has one row that's going to kill you. One row that was killing me. So, yeah. So I stopped. Oh, I take it back. Well, in the, 42 rows. And then 1 through 23 again. So literally 3 times. You hit that bad row 3 times. But I stopped. Okay, so this is pretty yarn. I think this might be a Toad Hall yarn. And oops. And I got some blue in there. I don't know what that's all about. I do end up not emptying my... bags very well, so I end up collecting weird things in my bags, which is why I can't find anything. Okay, that's Homespun House. This is the only Homespun House yarn I have. Polworth Fingering, Let's Go for a Walk. And Luli is the bag. But I think the red yarn must be, oh, it looks kind of orangey in this daylight, but it's red. So anyway, so these are socks. I definitely am not going to continue with those candy canes, but there's no reason why I can't just continue like with the side decorations and do something a little less fancy and turn these into socks, because, you know, socks. And I like the yarn. And I have no yarn. Oh, that's a lie. I have one pair of socks that was made with Christmas yarn. So, and have a cute little sheep on there. It must be really silver because it's tarnished. So, I'm not going to be very good about frogging, I guess. Because I think I'm going to keep these and just turn them into regular socks. And well, I'll see how I feel. Maybe I'm feeling adventurous and will want to continue with the candy cane. Or maybe 2 candy canes on the leg will be enough. It's a cute pattern. Just, I don't know. All right, and then I have this bag. I'm always worried about big bags. This is a giant shawl. I don't know if you call this shawl. This is an Andrea Mowry shawl called the Every Way. And it's got buttons and buttonholes, and I was so annoyed that it doesn't have a schematic to let you know where the buttons go, and it wasn't obvious to me, and none of the pictures felt like they were very good about that. And I mean, I'm going through row by row, crossing off and redoing. I don't know if I'm going to ever be able to figure out where I am. I don't know. I'll have to go and figure it out. But I think I got to the place where I was going to have to figure out where the buttonholes were. And you would think row by row it would be relatively easy, but we shall see anyway. So it looks like I'm in section 3. Seems like you should be able to tell that. Yeah, that looks like section 3 because I've done the stripes. I don't know. I was so annoyed with it because of that. Not having the diagram. But I have 3 colors here. 4 different yarns. This will take a lot of work for me to pick up because I don't have a note in here. I didn't make a good note here to figure out where I was. Yeah. But I see here section, I think I'm on section 3. Section 4 is section 5 is the buttonholes. Anyway, this is boring, I'm sorry. Anyway, section 7. This is a big knit. I mean, it's a huge thing that you wrap every way, which is why it's called the Every Way. And I'm actually quite happy with the colors, the color combos and stuff. So I think I'm going to think about this. But I'm going to have to be in a mood. But it's just garter ridges, you know. So this could be something, if I figure out where I am, it could be something to just sit and knit on once I stop being annoyed with it. These are on my interchangeable Lickas on the 10.5, which is why I couldn't find them for my vest for Isabel. I thought about doing a 10.5. So there you go. There's three of my whips that are still whips. I love the colors in this. I forgot what the colors were, but I'm really digging that color combo a lot. But I'm going to have to go back and read this and figure it out. Because I think section 1 is the stripes. Section 2 is the mosaic. And I think I'm in the middle of section 3, which is really, really long. And then section 4 is where you put the buttonholes. So I'll have to have some brain power to do this one. But since it's in no way urgent, obviously. Yeah, so. Anyway, there you go. I will do more whips tomorrow. Because, as you can see, I have lots. But I'm halfway down the foot of those Christmas socks. So I'm inclined to keep them. And I think they're on like a high sharp needle, which is okay, a little curly. But I'm definitely going to finish that hat. I'm going to finish that hat and then figure out what to do with it. And I will let you know. I don't know of any homeless shelters in my area, to be honest. I've never really looked into it, so I will. Well, if you know, I mean, I'm going to be doing a mailing next week, and so I can mail it somewhere. So if you have anywhere that you support that would take a nice hat and could use it, I will be happy for that information. So there you go. Vlog number 1000. I know. Still kind of blowing my mind, I have to say. It's funny because in my mind, I expected COVID to last 3 years when it first started. And the reason for that was because the Spanish flu lasted 3 years. And so in my mind, I was just like, oh my gosh, it's going to be 3 years. I'm sure of it. And I don't know, you know. But it's going to be more than 3 years. And, you know, we have to figure it out. But meanwhile, it'll be our March 20th will be our 3rd year anniversary. But I cannot tell you how important this vlog has been to me to do this every morning. I mean, we'll find out on March 20th what number that is. I could figure it out. What number that is, and then I'll be able to easily see how many times I did not do a vlog. My guess it'll be less than 20 in 3 years. But I don't know. I can think of a few days, you know, where I didn't. I can't think of very many days where I just didn't show up. that weren't planned. But yeah. So, okay. Anyway, doing this every morning has been huge, a huge, important part of me coping with the world these last 3 years. And I cannot thank you enough. It has meant the world to me. And now I'm getting all teary. It has meant the world to me to have you in my life. Thank you so much. Anyway, the world. So please, 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 please take good care of yourselves. Please. I want to just do another 1,000 just because, not because of COVID. Just because it's so part of my routine now that I just can't imagine not getting up in the morning and getting a cup of coffee and coming and talking with you people. I just can't, you know, it's like, I just can't picture it. It's given a lot of structure to my life. And Dennis is so funny, you know, he's like, well, you have content after the whole cat thing last night. Well, you have content. He's always on the lookout for content for me. So it is a family project. It is a family project. So thank you. Thank you all. Take very, very good care of yourselves. And I'll see you tomorrow for 1001. Crazy. Please, please stay safe and stay safe.